a vacation time worked out right too well.
I have a lot of disdain for the whole legal system. Hate cops and prosecutors and judges. How much of that can I say and not get my ass thrown in jail?
Well, you'll get thrown in jail for any of that, but that's not going to discourage them from putting you on a jury.
No.
Mm-mm. I mean this in the nicest way, right? For someone that has a hatred or disdain for prejudice and assumptions, without even being told what the jury is that they're considering you for, without even being told whether or not there's even a shred of misconduct, you've already decided that it's inherently wrong. So you're deciding that because there's a cop involved, it's inherently wrong, just like that cop decided because you weren't white, you were inherently wrong. You're not being the change you want to see in the world. You're actually suffering from the same prejudice and the same judgment that put you in the position that made you unhappy to begin with.
Maybe, but the difference is.
But there's a difference. Whether because some cops are corrupt or some judges or whatever, or because a different country made you feel unwelcome, has no bearing on whether or not this person's car was parked within 14 feet of a fire hydrant, and you have to decide whether or not they actually were. It has no bearing as to whether or not someone's car was illegally booted and they took their boot off when the cop said don't do that. It has no bearing on whether or not the person that they found.
The cop chooses to be part of that organization. Within that organization, there's training.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. Like we still need a system of enforcement for laws in order to protect others. Like who's going to arrest the person that kills your brother? Like that's my point. Is you're deciding that you don't know what the case is, you don't know what the hearing is, you know nothing, and it could be a situation where this guy shot a man live in front of a surveillance camera, directly in front of the ATM as he was robbing him, and then laughed as he bled to death, and just sat there when the cops showed up and arrested him. And you've decided that you don't want to view that evidence and try to have an impartial opinion to help either keep someone from wrongly being convicted or convict someone of wrongdoing because once upon a time, somebody else did something wrong to you. Like, you're doing the same thing that they're doing, but you're doing it and you're being morally superior about it.
It wasn't one individual, it was the entire Lincoln Police Department.
But it's like, it's not every single cop in every single department ever before. Like, I understand once bitten, twice afraid. I get it, right? I've been a victim of a hate crime before, but that doesn't make me inherently scared of other individuals. Like, I got my shit rocked wearing a rainbow t-shirt walking down through a pride in Chicago. That doesn't say to me all prides are wrong, don't walk down streets. What we're discussing is your inherent mistrust of a system systemically and your refusal to participate in it. And what I'm suggesting to you is perhaps you can consider that if people are constantly getting railroaded by a bad system and you have an opportunity to make a difference in that system, you're choosing not to participate, which means you're actually creating the bias that you're trying, like you've become the villain. Like by not being on that jury, you're stacking that jury with only people that.
At some point, like I am considering like being on that jury just so if it's some kind of bullshit like drug law or something, then I can acquit him. However, for my own mental health, the fact that.
So if you don't want to be on a jury because you simply don't want to be on a jury, you have better things to do, then by all means, that's great. But if you don't want to be on it because it's an inherent mistrust of the system.
There and being a part of that under that bullshit American flag, that would just piss me off because everyone that's a part of that system, I think, should be killed.
But once again, that's my point, is if you have an issue with the system, your hatred of the system does not dismantle or change the system. Your refusal to participate with it does not create a meaningful change. And in fact, it could be the difference between somebody having a meaningful change and not.